Hello, everybody. My name is Mark. You're watching and listening to the Russak Outlook. Thank you so much for joining. Today's presentation will be somewhat different. Our approach here is to peel back the onions, if you will, and get back to the origins of what we are doing, why we are doing it, what the underlying objective is. If I were to look at that as one word, the word would be truth. As a matter of fact, the title for this presentation is The Mission is Truth. So with that in mind, I thought, let's look at what Webster's definition of this word is. It says, the body of real things, events, and facts, actuality. Goes on to further elaborate. The state of being the case, fact. So keep that in mind. Full disclosure. My number one passion in life is my relationship with Jesus. So if the mission is truth, then my motive for this post and others must be obtaining verifiable truth. In other words, my dedication to Jesus must be steeped in reality. Then it is fair to say that the standards for this and all other posts here should fall in line with Webster's definition. In short, amongst other topics covered here, the life, crucifixion, and resurrection of heaven's perfect gift for all people must be steeped in irrefutable certainty. As I look around the world today, the very integrity of the word truth itself is being compromised on a daily basis in order to promote a collective agenda. Political correctness often trumps embracing the individual thought process. The endgame here is adherence to the norm as defined by groups of people in search of your votes, influence, and/or money, with their objective being the ownership of power, which is often rooted in greed and pride. Being certain about life-impacting subjects in many circles today is considered presumptuous and smug. The belief that no one can know anything for certain is somehow developing as the one doctrine the world will accept. Uncertainty is the new truth. Apprehension and disbelief are somehow ordained with the banner of humility. Right and wrong have been redefined in terms of feelings and perspectives. Pessimism is now regarded as righteous. For instance, belief in Jesus opens many doors the world considers pretentious. What happens when someone engages people in a public setting with a firm belief in the authority and the inspiration of Scripture, or perhaps a sound understanding of the true gospel? Now try to go so far as to have a settled confidence in the lordship of Christ. This will easily cause extreme outrage, or at the very least, an unsettlement in the air of discussion. This clearly does not reconcile well with postmodernism's contempt for clear, authoritative claims of truth. So one must ask themselves, what is it about the name Jesus that gets people so riled up? You will never see this if you're going to mention Mohammed, or if you're going to mention Confucius, or other figures, whether it be religious or historical, political. But it's the word Jesus, it's the name Jesus that will set people off. Why is that? Let me give you an example of something pretty much most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with. One of my favorite movies is A Few Good Men. Picture, if you can, the intensity of Tom Cruise's face during that infamous courtroom scene when his character says, "I want the truth," to which Nicholson defiantly retorts, "You can't handle the truth." Right up until the next few scenes of the movie, when Jack finally takes the bait and practically spits the words, "You're damn right I ordered the code red," definitive truth had not been revealed and threatens not to be accounted for. Even more sadly is the definition and the consequences of this truth is defined differently by many characters in the courtroom. What do I mean by that? Well, think about the two military defendants, onto the prosecuting team led by Kevin Bacon's character, to his star witness, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, then to the legal defense group with Cruz and Demi Moore and Kevin Pollak, to the judge, and finally to Colonel Nathan R. Jessup himself. They all have their own interpretations of what truth is. The conclusion, however, leaves the audience no doubt as to what the actual truth is and the necessity for full accountability to this truth. Truth is definitive. It can and should be qualified, and most importantly, must be sought. Spin doctoring truth is being practiced by all sides of religious, political, social, scientific, and educational spectrums in order to promote subjective conclusions rather than an objective analysis. Just like a court of law, truth at times may need to be tried and argued for, but in the end, it is absolute. It is my intent to seek truth here in a clear, concise, and respectful manner. For the most part, the objective will be to address some of the difficult topics where it is subconsciously accepted in today's society that truth can never be really clearly defined. I, on the other hand, believe there is an abundance of relevant factual data that will enable us to come to rational, well-defined conclusions that can render a verdict filled with confidence. Some examples of today's poignant topics will include, am I here for a reason? Are everyday people just another step in the process of evolution? How can you prove there is life after death? Politics. Why does it drive so many people crazy? Does faith in God deny science? Is Christ the only way through salvation? The power, challenges, and pitfalls of wealth. Is there life in the galaxies? If God is real, why is there so much suffering in the world? Bringing you back to the words of Jesus, the word truth appears to be so enormously important that it is mentioned 224 times in the Bible. In John 14:6, Jesus answers a question with the following: I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. In John 8, Jesus speaks to his disciples with the following words: You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So if Jesus is the truth, and the truth will set you free, then the obvious question is, free from what? That answer can be found in Romans 6:22 and 8:1. Knowing the truth will set one's life on the course towards absolute liberty, free from sin, free from condemnation, and free from death. These are the three most loftiest freedoms in all of humanity. Fast forward 2,000 plus years after the death of Jesus, and perhaps billions of people today are asking the very same question that Pontius Pilate once put forth when he had the unique chance to personally confront Jesus. Interestingly, he took this unprecedented opportunity in time by asking the Son of God this very simple question: What is truth? John 18:38. I suspect deep down to his core, he knew the answer to this uncomplicated but very meaningful question would set him free. As always, just my opinion.